Russia claimed it repelled a big Ukrainian aerial attack overnight, having destroyed 38 drones. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, 26 drones were shot down in Bryansk region, 10 in the Belgorod region, 1 each in the Lipetsk region, and 1 over the Black Sea. Accusing Ukraine of targeting its civilian infrastructure, Russia said its troops were attacking military facilities and Ukrainian military-industrial complex with precision-guided weapons and drones. At least one person was injured in a Russian aerial strike on Kyiv. The strike resulted in damage to civilian infrastructure, including residential buildings and cars. A video shared by the emergency service showed firefighters battling a blaze in the midst of heavy snow. Russia has continued its attacks on Ukraine, despite having agreed to Trump's appeal to stop fighting in harsh winter conditions.
Mr. President, yesterday you were talking about how Vladimir Putin had agreed to a pause during the cold weather. Overnight, those attacks have started up again. Apparently, the worst.
It was Sunday to Sunday, and it opened up, and he hit him hard last night. No, he kept his word on that. It's a lot. 1 week is, we'll take anything because it's really, really cold over there. But it was on Sunday, and he went from Sunday to Sunday.
Are you disappointed he didn't go further or go
Yeah,
longer?
I want him to end the war.
The second round of trilateral talks between Russia, Ukraine, and the United States took place in Abu Dhabi. The delegations from Moscow and Kyiv were joined in the capital of the United Arab Emirates by U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and U.S. President Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, according to Rustem Umerov, Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council chief, who attended the meeting.
Son, how's the Abu Dhabi meeting?
Well, as you know, jointly with President Trump's administration, active work is underway to restore Russia-US relations in the economic direction, including within the Russian-American Group for Economic Cooperation. We too had meetings today, and these discussions are progressing quite positively. Warmongers from Europe, from Britain, are constantly attempting to disrupt this process and continuously trying to interfere. And the more such attempts are made, the more clearly we see that there is, without a doubt, progress and a good positive movement forward is taking place.
Today I received a detailed report from our negotiating team following 2 full days of meetings and discussions held in the United Arab Emirates with both the American side and the Russian side. I am now expecting the team to arrive back in Kyiv for a more comprehensive and thorough personal briefing. There are many different aspects of these talks that simply cannot be discussed over the telephone at this time. Based on what we are already able to disclose to the public at this current moment, several important meetings are being scheduled for the very near future, and they will most likely be held over in America. We are fully prepared and ready to engage in America. We are ready for absolutely all types of working formats that have the potential to truly bring a just peace much closer and ensure that it remains reliable, long-lasting, and the kind of peace that completely deprives Russia of any appetite to continue fighting this war any further than they already have. It is absolutely essential that this war concludes in such a way that Russia receives no reward for its aggression. This is one of the fundamental principles that will restore and guarantee genuine security.
At the dead of winter, at minus 20 degrees Celsius, Russia bombarded Ukraine with a record number of missiles and drones. And Ukrainians woke up in the middle of their sleep to the devastation. Russian missiles and drones hit several towns and cities of Ukraine, including Kyiv. The Russian military fired 450 drones and more than 70 ballistic and cruise missiles. Reports say 32 ballistic missiles targeted Ukraine's energy infrastructure and power plants. Russia's aim was clear. As hell was falling from the sky, Ukrainians on the ground were left to die in bone-chilling cold. Thermal power plants were hit, substations burned, transformers failed. The strikes were designed to leave civilians in the dark, without heat, light, or water during the coldest days of winter. Ukraine's private energy company, DTEK, called the attack the most powerful blow so far this year. The attack left more than 1,000 tower blocks in Kyiv without heating. State-run facilities were hit in Kyiv, Dnipro, and elsewhere, adding to serious damage caused by a series of previous targeted attacks. Residents spent the night sheltering in metro stations, with some pitching tents on the platforms to protect them from the freezing cold. Without heat, water pipes have frozen and burst, adding to the strain on daily life.
Tonight, such a horrible thing happened in my house. This is especially disturbing because an elderly woman, an 80-year-old, lives in this room. The strike happened at 12:45 a.m. The clock stopped, and I ran out of the bathroom. My ears were blocked by the blast. I couldn't hear anything. A child was in the corridor, and I ran into this room. You can see what happened here. Thank God the grandmother was lying on the other side of the bed and was not injured. Everything is fine now. She and her daughter are in a safe place, staying with friends. The cafeteria and the auditorium were the most damaged. The sports hall, which has many windows, was also hit, and many windows were broken. It is very sad because the cafeteria was renovated this year and was damaged in less than a month. But the most important thing is that no one was injured, even though many people were in the shelter.
I am not the only one like this in the country right now. All day long, there is no electricity, no way to cook food for the kids. Pretty much everyone is in this situation. Even when our building is sourced with heating, when I wake up in the morning, it is 10 or 12 degrees Celsius in the apartment, and I see ice on windowsills.
This is my third stroller. The previous two broke. They break quickly on the stairs when I carry my child and groceries. My husband is at war, so I have to do everything myself. I repeat this routine several times a day. We wake up with the child in the morning and go outside, because the child needs fresh air. We go outside, go to the store, buy groceries, and climb to the 6th floor, using the stairs. Then we go outside again for a walk and return home.
Russia's attack came just a day before the scheduled peace talks with Ukraine in Abu Dhabi. The attack also comes after a so-called energy truce, agreed by Donald Trump with Vladimir Putin, expired at the weekend. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia was choosing terror and escalation rather than diplomacy to end this war. He also suggested that Russia used the truce period to stock up on missiles and prepare for the attack. Ukraine is preparing for retaliation. Zelensky said Kyiv is waiting for the U.S.'s reaction.
We are waiting for the reaction of the United States of America to the Russian strikes. This was a proposal from America itself, to stop the strikes on the energy sector for the time of diplomacy and such cold winter weather. There was a request personally from the President of the United States. We see that Russia responded to this request with a ballistic record. Less than 4 days have passed since the week that Russia was asked for it. This also speaks to everything else that Russia promises or can still promise. If they don't keep their word now, then what can we expect next? They lied before this war, and Russia started a full-scale war, trying to deceive everyone around about its intentions and about Ukraine, and now even in such details, in such agreements with America, Russian deception again.
Meanwhile, Trump said Russian strikes did not amount to a breach of the commitment Putin made to him.